Betrayal cuts the deepest when it comes from the ones we trust most. For Sigma males, this pain hits differently. They stand out as rare, self-reliant individuals who walk their own path, unshaken by societal expectations. Their strength lies in their independence, calm resolve, and deep introspection, traits that make them both admired and misunderstood. People often betray Sigma males out of jealousy, insecurity, or an inability to control them. The Sigma's ability to remain emotionally steady and self-sufficient can intimidate those who lack these qualities. Betrayers see their strength as a threat, their silence as arrogance, and their freedom as rebellion. But make no mistake, these betrayals are never a reflection of weakness in the Sigma male. They are a testament to their power and individuality. To every Sigma male who's been betrayed, don't let it define you. Use it as fuel to grow stronger and wiser. Watch this video to uncover why your unique nature invites both admiration and envy, and how to rise above the betrayal to remain unstoppable. Let's get started, gents. Number 1. Their silence is misinterpreted as arrogance. Sigma males are naturally introspective, choosing to observe more than they speak. This quiet demeanor isn't born from arrogance, but from a deep focus on their own thoughts, goals, and personal growth. Yet, for those who don't understand this kind of self-reliance, their silence can easily be misinterpreted. People often assume that a Sigma's lack of small talk or social validation is a sign of superiority, as if their quiet confidence is a way of looking down on others. This misunderstanding breeds resentment. Those who are insecure or overly reliant on external approval feel threatened by someone who doesn't need to announce their worth or seek affirmation. The Sigma's calm, composed presence can amplify the insecurities of others, creating a gap that some interpret as rejection or disdain. Instead of seeing the Sigma's quiet nature for what it is, inner peace, they take it personally. Over time, this resentment festers into betrayal. It might come in the form of backstabbing, manipulation, or subtle sabotage. The betrayers convince themselves that the Sigma male deserves it for being distant, detached, or too good for others. But the truth is, the Sigma never set out to create enemies. They simply refuse to play the social games that others depend on. For the Sigma male, this can feel isolating. But here's the truth. Betrayal often says more about the betrayer than the betrayed. Your silence isn't arrogance, it's strength. You don't need to explain yourself to those who twist your intentions. Keep moving forward, because the very thing they misunderstand about you is what makes you stand apart. Stay tuned, because in this video, we'll break down how betrayal reveals the true character of others, and why being a Sigma is worth every challenge. Number 2, they don't sugarcoat the truth. Sigma males have a unique relationship with the truth. They respect it, even when it's uncomfortable, and they don't feel the need to dilute it for the sake of pleasing others. While many people navigate social interactions by avoiding hard truths or sugarcoating their words to keep the peace, Sigmas take a different approach. They believe that honesty, no matter how difficult, is necessary for growth and understanding. But this blunt candor isn't always welcomed. When a Sigma male speaks, his words often cut through the fluff and get straight to the point. He isn't trying to hurt anyone or provoke tension. He's simply calling things as he sees them. However, not everyone is ready to hear such unfiltered honesty. For those who aren't secure in themselves, the Sigma's words can feel like an attack, even when they're meant to help. The truth has a way of exposing weaknesses, and when someone feels exposed, they might turn defensive, or worse, retaliate. This is where betrayal often creeps in. Rather than appreciating the Sigma's honesty, some people take it personally. They see him as harsh or judgmental, projecting their insecurities onto him instead of reflecting on their own shortcomings. This resentment can build over time, leading them to betray his trust as a way to regain a sense of control or even the score. For the Sigma male, this backlash can be frustrating, especially when his intention was to be genuine, not harmful. But his commitment to truth is also what sets him apart. Betrayal might sting, but it's often a sign that his honesty has hit a nerve. Staying true to this principle isn't easy, but it's what makes the Sigma male a rare and respected figure, even in the face of disloyalty. Number 3, they're too generous with their strength. Sigma males are the kind of people who naturally offer support, whether it's emotionally, mentally, or practically, without ever expecting anything in return. They're the ones who'll listen when everyone else is too busy, lend a hand when others turn away, and give guidance even when they haven't been asked for it. For them, helping others is just part of who they are. It's not about showing off or seeking praise. It's about being the solid, dependable force that others can rely on. But this generosity can be a double-edged sword. Over time, the very people who benefit from the Sigma's strength can begin to take it for granted. They start to expect it, assuming the Sigma will always be there to offer a hand or provide support. What once seemed like a selfless act becomes an unspoken obligation. The Sigma doesn't ask for much in return, but eventually, those receiving the help forget that nothing lasts forever. They begin to feel entitled to the Sigma's resources, whether it's their time, energy, or even emotional availability, without ever considering that the Sigma might need something for themselves. This imbalance often breeds resentment. People who have benefited from the Sigma's generosity may start to see them as a constant source of support, but not a person who deserves anything in return. And when that sense of entitlement sets in, betrayal becomes a natural outcome. The Sigma male who once gave freely might find himself abandoned or misused when his generosity is no longer convenient. It's a painful lesson that not everyone values what you offer. If you're a Sigma, it's important to remember that your worth isn't determined by how much you give, but by the strength you carry within. Number 4, they attract opportunists. Sigma males have a certain magnetic energy. They exude confidence, independence, and a unique aura that draws people in. It's not something they seek, but it's a byproduct of being true to themselves. They don't conform, and that authenticity makes them stand out in a way that attracts others. However, while some are genuinely interested in the Sigma's depth, many are drawn simply to the benefits they can gain from being around someone so self-assured. These are the opportunists. Opportunists are quick to latch on to anyone they see as a potential advantage, and the Sigma, with his quiet strength and clear sense of self, becomes a prime target. These individuals see the Sigma as a stepping stone, a person to be around to gain something, whether it's influence, access to exclusive networks, or just the aura of success that comes from associating with someone who doesn't follow the crowd. They don't value the Sigma for who they truly are, but rather for what they can extract from the connection. The problem arises when the Sigma's presence no longer serves a purpose for the opportunist. As soon as they feel the relationship has run its course or it no longer offers any benefits, the opportunist has no qualms about walking away or even betraying the Sigma to protect their own interests. To them, loyalty is fleeting, and the Sigma's true value was never truly understood. For the Sigma, betrayal from an opportunist is a harsh reminder that some people are only around for as long as the benefits flow. But ironically, the Sigma's ability to see through this kind of person is one of their greatest strengths. Number 5, they unwittingly challenge others' identities. Sigma males are inherently different. They live outside the boundaries of societal expectations, choosing to follow their own path and define success on their terms. This independence is one of their greatest strengths, but it also becomes a mirror to others, especially those who have conformed to the traditional way of living. When people see a Sigma thriving in ways that go against the grain, it forces them to question their own choices, their lifestyle, and the decisions they've made to fit in. This can create a kind of existential discomfort in those who have been following the typical path without much thought. What often happens next is that this discomfort turns into resentment. People begin to feel threatened by the Sigma's unwavering confidence and freedom. The fact that the Sigma doesn't follow the rules makes them feel exposed, as if their own choices are now under scrutiny. They start comparing their lives to the Sigma's, feeling inadequate because the Sigma refuses to live according to society's standards. This envy can fester and transform into jealousy, which, if unchecked, can eventually lead to betrayal. It's a painful truth, but when people feel insecure or unfulfilled in their own lives, they may lash out at the ones who unknowingly highlight their shortcomings. The Sigma, simply by being true to himself, challenges others to examine their own lives in a way that's uncomfortable. And in the world of fragile egos, discomfort often breeds defensiveness, and that defensiveness can lead to actions that betray those who, ironically, are only trying to live authentically. So, if you're a Sigma, remember that your authenticity will always challenge others. Just don't let their discomfort make you doubt your worth. Number 6. They're misunderstood in intimate relationships. Sigma males are naturally introspective and value their personal space. They don't need constant validation or attention from others, especially in intimate relationships. For them, time alone isn't about avoiding their partner. It's a way to recharge, reflect, and maintain their sense of identity. However, this need for space can often be misunderstood. Romantic partners may perceive the Sigma's need for solitude as disinterest or worse, rejection. They may start to feel neglected, wondering if their partner still cares or if there's something wrong with the relationship. This insecurity can slowly chip away at the trust between them. What often follows is a sense of vulnerability. Feeling as though their place in the relationship is threatened, some partners may act out, seeking control or power to stabilize their own emotional discomfort. This can manifest in subtle manipulation, passive aggression, or even preemptive betrayal. They may assume that if the Sigma isn't offering the same level of attention or emotional availability, they need to secure their position in the relationship before the Sigma pulls away completely. This cycle of misunderstanding and insecurity can easily spiral. The Sigma, simply trying to preserve their autonomy, inadvertently triggers an emotional reaction in their partner who misreads the signals. What started as a need for space becomes a source of tension that leads to emotional distance and, in some cases, betrayal. The Sigma never intended to hurt or withdraw, but in a relationship where open communication is lacking, that space becomes a wedge between them. For the Sigma, this is another reminder that authenticity and self-preservation can be misunderstood and even misused in the context of intimacy. Number 7. They're too self-reliant. Sigma males possess a level of self-sufficiency that most people find rare, even enviable. They navigate life with a quiet confidence, solving problems and chasing their goals without seeking approval or assistance. This independence is what makes them resilient, but it's also what alienates them from others. People are often drawn to relationships where there's a mutual reliance, a sense of being needed. With Sigmas, that dynamic isn't always present. Their ability to stand on their own often leads others to assume they don't need anyone, emotionally or otherwise. While this might be partly true, Sigma males are emotionally self-contained. It doesn't mean they don't value connection. However, their refusal to depend on others can leave those around them feeling undervalued or unimportant. For many, loyalty stems from a belief that they're indispensable. When someone like a Sigma male doesn't reinforce that belief, it can create a sense of detachment. This misinterpretation of their independence can open the door to betrayal. Some people see the Sigma's self-reliance as a reason to walk away. They believe their loyalty isn't required if they're not needed. Others might resent the Sigma for being so capable, interpreting their autonomy as superiority or a rejection of help. This resentment, fueled by insecurity, can lead to acts of disloyalty, whether intentional or not. For Sigmas, betrayal is a harsh reminder of how misunderstood they often are. Yet, their self-reliance is what makes them unshakable in the face of such setbacks. While others may falter without support, Sigmas remain grounded, knowing their strength comes from within. The lesson is clear. Not everyone will appreciate your independence, but the ones who do are the ones who truly belong in your life. Stay true to who you are. Number 8. They're a mirror that reflects insecurities. Sigma males are like a silent force that shakes people to their core. Not because they intend to, but because their presence alone challenges everything others try to hide. Their independence, self-assuredness, and refusal to conform make them a mirror, reflecting back the insecurities and weaknesses of those around them. When someone stands firmly in their truth, it can make others painfully aware of where they fall short. And instead of addressing their own flaws, many choose the easier path: betrayal. This betrayal isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it's subtle, a fake smile, a hidden agenda, a dagger concealed behind a handshake. It comes from people who feel dwarfed by the Sigma male's self-reliance and authenticity. They envy the freedom, the clarity, and the confidence that Sigmas exude. It's not arrogance, it's the quiet power of someone who knows who they are and doesn't need validation from anyone. This power can make others uncomfortable. Sigmas don't fit into neat categories or play by the unspoken rules of social hierarchies. They're not looking for approval, and they're certainly not easy to manipulate. For those who thrive on control or comparisons, a Sigma male becomes a threat, a reminder of their own lack of direction or strength. And instead of being inspired, they retaliate in underhanded ways. If you've been betrayed, remember this. It's not about you. It's about what you represent. You make people confront truths they'd rather avoid, and not everyone is strong enough to handle that. But don't let their actions dim your light. Stay true to yourself and let betrayal be the fire that forges you even stronger. You've got this. Stay tuned because your uniqueness isn't just rare, it's powerful beyond measure. Number 9. They defy social hierarchies. Sigma males exist outside the typical social order, and that alone makes them stand out. They don't chase approval, and they don't play by the unspoken rules that define most social groups. While others focus on climbing ladders or pleasing those in power, Sigmas choose their own path. They aren't interested in titles, ranks, or validation from authority figures. Instead, they operate with quiet confidence, valuing freedom and authenticity above all else. This refusal to conform unsettles people who are deeply invested in the system. To those who thrive on loyalty to hierarchies, a Sigma male is unpredictable, unmanageable, and therefore expendable. When someone isn't trying to fit in or prove their worth, they become easy to target. People who live for group dynamics often see Sigmas as a threat, a wild card who doesn't follow the script. Betrayal in these cases often feels calculated. It comes from individuals or groups who prioritize their own standing within the system over any personal bond. They'll cut ties with a Sigma male if it means solidifying their place in the hierarchy. To them, the Sigma's independence isn't admirable, it's inconvenient. The Sigma isn't loyal in the traditional sense, and this lack of blind allegiance is enough to make them an outsider, someone easy to discard. But Sigmas don't need the system. Their power lies in their ability to thrive alone. While others cling to hierarchies for a sense of belonging, Sigmas find strength within themselves. So, if you've been betrayed for not fitting in, take it as confirmation of your uniqueness. You were never meant to follow someone else's rules. Stay true to who you are, because in a world full of followers, being the one who leads himself is priceless. Number 10, they threaten traditional leaders. Sigma males don't seek power, but they have a way of quietly commanding it. Without trying, they attract attention and respect, simply by being authentic and true to themselves. This ability to influence those around them is often what makes them so magnetic. However, it's also what makes them a threat to traditional leaders, whether in the workplace, among friends, or in any social setting. Traditional leaders rely on their status, position, and control to maintain authority. When a Sigma male enters the picture, their natural charisma and ability to lead without ever seeking to do so can cause insecurity in these established figures. The Sigma's influence doesn't come from titles, authority, or manipulation. It's a quiet force that makes people listen, follow, and admire, sometimes more than they do the so-called leaders in their lives. This can create friction. Traditional leaders, whether they realize it or not, feel their control slipping. The Sigma male's power lies in his independence, something that's not easily threatened by external forces. To protect their position, these leaders might resort to betrayal. They'll see the Sigma as a competitor, someone who challenges the system and disrupts the flow of power. Rather than recognizing the Sigma's value, they'll do what they can to discredit or isolate him in an effort to maintain the status quo. But Sigma males aren't easily swayed. They don't need external validation to know their worth. If you're a Sigma, understand that your presence is powerful, and some people will fear that. Stay true to who you are, because those who try to tear you down are often just trying to protect a system that doesn't serve anyone. In wrapping up, being a Sigma male means walking a path that's uniquely your own. You don't follow the crowd, and you don't play by society's rules. You stand strong in your independence, your authenticity, and your ability to thrive on your own. But sometimes that strength can make others uncomfortable. It forces them to confront their own insecurities, their unmet needs, and the fact that they might not be living up to their potential. That discomfort can quickly turn into envy, resentment, or even betrayal. The truth is, people often betray Sigmas not because of their flaws, but because of the light they shine. Your independence, generosity, honesty, and willingness to stand apart from the herd can make others feel threatened. It challenges them to look at their own lives, and not everyone is ready to face that challenge. But don't let their actions define you. Betrayal isn't a reflection of who you are, but of who they are. Stay true to yourself, keep your boundaries strong, and know that the right people will see and appreciate your value. Not everyone is meant to stay in your life, and that's okay. Watch the full video to dive deeper into why betrayal happens and how you can rise above it. Stay strong, Sigma. You're exactly who you're meant to be. Thank you, gents, for tuning in, and God bless.